I learned a lot about women being a playboy. Here is years of knowledge condensed into one video with 4 of my most valuable lessons. This first lesson hit me like an uppercut from Mike Tyson, so if you can learn it from me, it will save you a lot of pain and headache. And to illustrate this, let me take you back to a Tinder date I had this past summer in Sweden. I picked this girl up, we met for the first time, and we went back to my place. We had a really good date. It was a lot of fun. We went jet skiing, we were in the sauna, we talked throughout the entire night, had a great conversation, and made plans to hang out in the future again. But immediately after the hangout, she ghosted me and we never spoke again. I don't know if she found out that I slept with her stepsister, but either way, it was still cold of her. And the lesson here is that girls lie a lot. You need to learn to judge them based off their actions and not their words. Their actions are always going to speak the loudest to their truest internal desires. They can tell you whatever they want, but if they're not acting in accordance with it, something is off. And I made this mistake so badly with my ex from 3 years ago. I was super naive and inexperienced when it came to dating and girls as a whole. And I was trusting every single thing she was telling me. She was telling me, no, babe, I love you. I want to be with you forever. All this shit, feeding me all the things I wanted to hear. And I was like, oh, okay, great. And then her actions were directly contradicting all that when she was going out partying, doing degenerate things, hanging around dudes. And it was just like this big internal conflict because I didn't know how to handle it at the time and I didn't know what was going on, but I knew something felt off. So over these years of being a playboy, I learned to strictly judge a girl based off of her actions and have her words kind of be a subsect because her actions are going to be her truest form of what she wants. She's gonna act the way that she wants to act no matter what she says to you. So her words they're an important aspect. They hold them in value, but nothing is gonna be as important as what she actually does. So if her actions are in alignment with her words and they're in favor for you and your goals, then that's a great green flag and this is a good girl for you and you can hang out with her. But if her words are not in alignment with, or her actions are not in alignment with her words, then this is a red flag and you need to be careful around this girl and be very limited with the trust that you give her because she will most likely break it and break your heart as well. Learning this next lesson will make every playboy shed a little tear inside when it happens. And let me take you back to when I was first getting social, going out to the bars and clubs after that breakup with my ex 3 years ago. I was out in New York with my friend and I was staying at his place and we went out for the night and we actually met a bunch of girls and I got one of them from the group and he had one of them from the group. So we went back to his place. We went our separate ways. We were all hyped. We were proud of each other. We're like, let's go, bro. And then when I was in bed with the girl, I was kissing her. Things were going pretty well. And then she was like, oh, I don't want to have sex tonight. And it was such a big letdown. I was just getting back out there, just kind of reestablishing myself socially and with girls after that breakup and being so down bad. And this was just such a hit. And the lesson here is don't count your chickens before they hatch. Nothing is done until it is done. This has happened on so many levels, from being more innocent, setting up a date, being all excited, thinking that this girl is gonna be my future girlfriend, to being a playboy at the club, bringing home girls, and then having them in my bed and them not wanting to get with me at the last second. You will go through a range of different shenanigans when it comes to being a playboy getting girls. And nothing is official until it's official. So you need to learn to take things a little bit more slowly in your mind, not hyping them up as much, because if you do, you're gonna get massively let down. And if you have unrealistic viewpoints, which you most likely do if you're not more of an experienced playboy like I wasn't back in the day, then you're gonna be massively setting yourself up for failure many times, overestimating the degree to which this is gonna go to. So, nothing is said and done until it's actually happening. And this has been such a big lesson for me over the years from, literally so many times there's been an example that came to mind where I was having a great night in Sweden talking to this girl. We left the club and then she was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this. And I was like, okay, like make up your mind. I'm outside the club. It's cold. Like, I'm either going to go back in the club or are we going home? And she was like, I don't want to do this. And I was like, all right. I went back in the club, found another girl, brought her home 5 minutes later. But the point is, you can't let things get too exaggerated in your own mind and let your thoughts run wild. You got to stay very realistic and present in the moment to the reality as it is. If you let things kind of get exaggerated, you're going to be letting yourself down massively, thinking that girls are going to be your future girlfriend, that they want you when they don't. So you need to take things one step at a time. Otherwise, you're gonna be letting yourself down way, way too much. This next lesson will slap you with the harsh hand of reality, but you need to hear it. And to illustrate this, let me take you back to this past summer in Sweden when I was at the club. I met this really cool girl and we hung out for most of the night. We went to the burger joint together after and got some food, and then we went back to my place. It was a really fun beyond just hooking up. We actually talked for hours into the night, and we talked about hanging out in the future, and I thought she was really cool. Come the next day, I text her, and then she leaves me undelivered for 3 days, and eventually she hits me back with some lame response, and I knew the game was up. And then even weeks later, I talked to a couple of her friends and she was talking shit about me, but whatever. And the lesson here is that girls can go from sweet to sour very quickly after you sleep with them. Even if you did nothing wrong and all your actions were in line with the expectations you set, this can happen time and time again. The amount of times this has happened, I would need multiple hands to count it out. Whereas the amount of girls who are cool, I could pretty much count it out on one hand after we've slept with each other. So this happens all the time, and it's something you need to be prepared for. If you think that you're gonna be friends with a girl after you sleep with her, the chances are very, very unlikely that this is actually gonna pan out the way that you see it. They're most likely not gonna wanna hang out with you or be your friend anymore, because that's just what has happened time and time again. And on the contrary, the girls who I haven't had any sort of sexual relationship with at all, became friends with not even a single kiss, have been some of the girls who I've maintained the closest relationships with. And it's just funny how it works out like that. They're kind of like almost guy friends, where as long as you don't do anything to betray them or break that trust, you're gonna stay friends for a very long time. But just have sex with a girl one time and all of a sudden, things can go from sweet to sour insanely quickly. So you need to be prepared for this. Be prepared that they might talk shit behind your back. They might throw shade your way after you get with them. And this last lesson might just be the most important. And to illustrate this, you need to understand, I've been going to Sweden since I was 19 years old. That is the first time I went back as an adult. The time before that was in middle school, and no one really knew who I was. I literally only knew 2 people in the entire city where my mom grew up. This town that she grew up in is a very small town, so everyone knows everyone. And the first year I went there, I absolutely cleaned up with girls. I did amazing. I got with a bunch of girls in just 5 weeks. It was a very transformational time in my life, having not had much success with girls before that, or just starting to really get successful. So after that year, a lot of people knew me, but not everyone. So when I came back the second year, I had some great success as well. I was there for 2.5 months. I got with plenty of girls, and by this point I kind of knew everyone within the town. And the thing is, the third year came around, that was this past year, and now everyone in their mother knew who I was, and that I'm kind of a playboy and I like to get with girls. So it was a little bit harder. Don't get me wrong, I still was able to have success in the start, but it wasn't until I moved to the bigger city and started going there on the weekends instead that I started cleaning up and having that success that I once had. Because the lesson here is that your reputation is so, so important. And I'm gonna give you a way that you can actually make being a playboy an advantage to your reputation instead of being a detriment. So if you're planning on being a playboy in one city, which most of you are, if you're not constantly just traveling the world, this is going to apply to you, and it's gonna really, really help you out. So you're gonna see a lot of the same people. Even if you're in a bigger city, you're gonna be going to the same bars, the same clubs as other people, and they do the exact same thing. People have their favorite spots, and you're gonna be bumping into these people all the time. Before you know it, you're quickly gonna meet a lot of people. You'd be surprised how in a big city, you'll get to know everyone. And this is gonna really help you out if you apply this advice. See, after 2 years, I made the mistakes that I'm about to tell you. And my friend was like, Seb, everyone, all the girls here, they kind of just know you as a playboy. And I was like, so why is that a bad thing? Well, he was like, they don't know you as a playboy that delivers the best experience possible, that, you know, goes above and beyond in bed and makes the experience absolutely wonderful for the girl. And I was like, so who cares? And he was like, well, if you do this, the girls are gonna be talking to their friends about it, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, I just got with this guy. It was the best experience I ever had. And now all her friends are gonna be curious. And this is the word that's gonna be getting out. Think of like word of mouth referrals, like sales. Like if you're getting good referrals, good testimonials, it is a good thing. It's gonna increase the amount of business that you get. And you can apply the same thing to being a playboy. So if you're getting all these good word of mouth referrals, testimonials going out and around, all the girls now are going to be curious to get the same experience. So if you were just the slightest bit charming, charismatic, in the right place at the right time, talking to a few different girls who have heard your testimonials, they're gonna wanna get with you as well. And that's just how it works. And this is what he did to absolutely kill it and have more success and not have it slow down over time, but actually build up, where he was just able to get with more girls and more girls because they knew they were gonna get a really good experience out of it. And this is the last lesson that I'll leave you with. So if this video provided you with any value, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. On this channel, I'll be teaching you how to become attractive to girls in every single way, shape, and form so you can have the most success that you deserve. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thank you for watching to the end.